The Bible's influence, from scroll to society. What if I told you that the Bible shaped the world more than any constitution, manifesto, or novel? That its verses echo in our laws, our classrooms, our art, and even our everyday speech? This is the story of how Scripture became structure. It's the most translated book in history, the most quoted, the most debated. But beyond the pages, the Bible has shaped the very fabric of our world. From law to literature, from education to ethics, this is the story of how Scripture became structure. Law and justice. The 10 Commandments as moral foundation: you shall not kill, you shall not steal. Influence on Western legal systems: equality before the law, human rights, compassion. The relevance of the Bible for law and ethics in society today explores how biblical ethics still shape modern justice and freedom. Long before modern constitutions, the Bible laid down moral codes. You shall not kill, you shall not steal. These weren't just religious rules, they became the backbone of justice systems across continents. Ancient Israel's legal system influenced Roman law, which shaped Western jurisprudence. Concepts like equality before the law, due process, and mercy trace back to biblical ethics. Civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. quoted Scripture to challenge unjust laws. Even today, courtroom oaths often invoke the Bible, not for religion, but for moral weight. Education and literacy. Early schools built around Bible reading. Literacy campaigns in missionary movements. What is the impact of the Bible throughout history? The Bible shows how Scripture drove education, especially in underserved regions. The Bible didn't just teach morality, it taught people to read. Early schools were built around Bible reading, especially in missionary contexts. Literacy campaigns in Africa, Europe, and the Americas often began with Scripture. The printing press was invented to mass-produce Bibles, democratizing knowledge. In South Africa, missionary schools taught reading through biblical texts, blending faith and education. Literature and language. Biblical stories in Shakespeare, Milton, Dostoevsky. Common phrases: by the skin of your teeth, a thorn in the flesh, cast the first stone. The book that made our world, how the Bible created the different subjects, dives into how biblical narratives shaped the literary hero and Western storytelling. From Shakespeare to Tolstoy, the Bible echoes in the greatest works of literature. Shakespeare quoted Scripture over 1,200 times. Milton's Paradise Lost reimagines Genesis. Dostoevsky's The Brothers Karamazov wrestles with biblical justice and forgiveness. Common phrases like, by the skin of your teeth, a thorn in the flesh, cast the first stone, all biblical. Even our metaphors are baptized in Scripture. Art, music, and pop culture. Psalms as poetic inspiration. Biblical themes in classical music, sculpture, and modern film. Pop culture and the Bible. Extra Credit explores how Scripture still influences entertainment and iconography. Michelangelo painted prophets, Handel composed Messiah. Kanye sampled Psalms, Beyoncé quoted Ecclesiastes. The Bible has inspired sculpture, symphonies, murals, and movies. Psalms became hymns, Proverbs became lyrics, Revelation became cinema. Even secular artists use biblical imagery to evoke depth, drama, and destiny. Public schools and controversy. The debate over Bible teaching in schools. Legal cases like Abington versus Shemp. Teaching about the Bible in public school, legal or not, explains the legal boundaries and educational value of Scripture in classrooms. Should the Bible be taught in schools? It's a question that sparked lawsuits, debates, and cultural divides. Legal cases like Abington versus Shemp banned devotional Bible reading in U.S. public schools. But academic study of the Bible, as literature, history, or ethics, remains legal and valuable. In South Africa, religious education often includes biblical texts alongside other faiths. The tension, teaching without preaching. Culture and interpretation. How different cultures read the Bible through their own lenses. The Bible as a global text, translated into over 3,000 languages. How does culture influence how we read the Bible? Explores how cultural background shapes biblical understanding. The Bible is not read the same way everywhere. In Africa, it's communal. In the West, it's individual. In Asia, it's poetic. In Latin America, it's revolutionary. Cultural lenses shape interpretation. Liberation theology, prosperity gospel, ancestral parallels. The Bible has been translated into over 3,000 languages, but meaning shifts with context. In Zulu tradition, biblical stories are often retold with clan metaphors and ancestral echoes. The Bible didn't just survive history. It shaped it. It taught us to read, to think, to question, to hope. And whether you believe in it or not, you live in its shadow. From scroll to society, its influence is everywhere, in our laws, our language, our lives. How did the Bible influence you? Comment down below, like and subscribe. This is Bible Bit Daily. Faith in focus, one bit at a time.